Hello everybody, how are you? Hey there, I am so excited to be sharing with you guys in this episode for our World Card Making Day Craft-In event. We are going to be using and playing with From the Heart, the Frolic Tiny Border, and even the Blossom accessory. So definitely if you have those, grab them so you can create along with me. There we go. Hello Judy, how are you? Okay, perfect. I'm seeing your guys' comments in. So yes, I will be creating with these, so I wanted to make sure to point that out. I really love this combination of these samples that are actually right here. So I wanted to show you guys how I created those when for those 10 cards in those samples. Okay. Perfect. All right. You know what? I just noticed my door is still open. Give me 2 seconds. Let me shut that. That way you guys don't have to hear the TV in the background and the kiddos and everything else. And yes, let's play to create. How is everyone? How is your Saturday? Okay, so kind of roll call here, checking in. How many of you have made an effort, whether that was yesterday or today, to create at least a card? Whatever type of card, doesn't matter. Kiwi, whatever style, any type of card. If you created it, let us know in the comments. There we go. Sorry, my page just went down. Let me get it back up, and then we'll get this party started. Oh my goodness, we've had so many fun different classes, lots of ideas thrown at you guys. Not only just using, of course, the product that, yes, is on sale, of course, till the end of today, as we end out our celebration for World Card Making Day here. But besides that, like whether or not, I hope that you have found tons of inspiration with all of the different tips and designs and everything else that has been shared from a lot of the team members of Kiwi Lane. So I'm super excited. I love all of the ideas, all of whether that's our team members of the creative team or creative partners or the Kiwi crew. Lots and lots of fun. Awesome, Cynthia, I'm glad. Sharon, I created 2 sympathy cards and 1 double page layout. Sweet. She's even getting some scrapbooking done. Way to go. That's awesome. I'm so excited for that. Okay, so as I mentioned just a minute ago, we are going to be playing with the Frolic. So if you happen to have these, then pull them out. But if not, let me point them out so you know which ones I'm using in case something, of course, catches your eye. And then also, we're going to be using the Blossom accessory, which I love. It actually comes with, let me give you a close look at this. Well, it has it here on the back, which it does have some really adorable scrapbooking sketches on the back here. Actually, those are really cute. I was just looking at this thinking, oh, maybe I should do that. Now I'm in a scrapbooking mood. Okay, focus, Susan, cards. It is an accessory. Normally, we recommend our tiny accessories for cards, but of course, that doesn't mean that you can't use any of the accessories. Often the accessories, the sizes don't quite work for cards, but as you're going to see by the time in this one event, we will be using an accessory versus a tiny accessory. So we don't have actually a tiny version of Blossom. We just have the larger one, and it does come already with a mixture, and I think that's what's really fun about the Blossom, is that you get this larger flower, like more of a wildflower, and then you get the smaller one, so you can kind of see that difference here, which just in the set alone gives you that layering possibilities. I mean, you even have this little leaf, super cute, tulip, and an adorable butterfly. So already you kind of have some layerings, but you can tell the sizes are, of course, you know, diverse. They have a variety in there for sure. So you can kind of see what's included in that set. Jane, 3 cards made today. Way to go, Jane. That's amazing. All right. And then of course we're going to be playing with the frolic border, which in this one you get some of your traditional AB borders, but then we have some of 2 different sizes of the scallops too. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, now that I've shown you what I'm using, we are going to just create. And I love that sometimes when I pull out just a couple sets. Like it kind of does sometimes help simplify it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am a big fan of just playing to create and mixing and matching, but it does help sometimes to really zone in with just a couple sets and seeing what, with those couple combinations, nothing else, what can you create, right? So it's really nice to be able to itemize and eliminate some of those distracting decisions sometimes, right? Okay. For whatever it's worth, that's why I'm relieved and stick to one color, is because of that same reason, that it eliminates some of those other decision making that I just, just doesn't make a big difference to me, so I don't put a lot of energy on it. So that's why I stick to the one brown color, because I know it works with everything. Not that I'm against the other ones, that's purely why. It's because it's the one area that I'm like, it doesn't make a big difference to me, so I'm going to save some of that decision making there. Okay, so I'm actually going to just take this whole package apart here. Normally I will just rip it off like that, but I decided to go ahead and, well, it's actually still easier that way, but so we can go through these as quickly as possible, because I want to basically walk this through as more like of a class and make each card. We'll see how many we can get done here in the next hour. And I definitely thinking as we're coming to the end, we should throw in a couple more giveaways. Luckily I can do that. Since, I think after this, my live event, we have one more event, and that is going to be the end of our World Card Making Day extravaganza. So, all right, so starting off with, you'll see the 2 samples here on the recipe card. It definitely tells you Frolic 1B, 3, Blossom, and 1, and Frolic 2A and Blossom 3 are what's being used. So that's what I'm going to start with, and I'm just going to basically control myself, and I'm going to scrap lift, card lift, however you want to say that, these cards, and we're going to walk through them step by step and create the cards that you see here. There are some really fun tips. I don't know if you guys have the Heart to Heart card paper kit and have maybe already looked at these samples closely, but one of the things that I love about this one right here is, if you notice, the border is cut out the top of the card itself. So that's really, really fun. So I'm going to grab Frolic 2A, and that's what this one is, right? And so what it is it's actually cut out of the bottom of the card. And then the sentiment right here, that is inside of the card. So let me go ahead and do cut that as well. So I love that. That was a lot of fun. It's just another way that you can change up, of course, a card design. Maybe instead of all layering on the top of your card base, you could definitely cut a design out of the edges of your cards or anything like that. So I'm going to cut out, I believe that was a 2-inch. Let me just double check. Basically what I want is for my sentiment to show where my opening window is, which we will be cutting out here soon. So let me see what that at least comes to here, so that I can give you those specifics. Yeah, so 2 inches will be plenty in that case. So I'm just going to cut that at 2 inches, make it a nice, clean, even number on that. Hey, Karen. Hi from Texas. I have that set too, working on another one at the moment. Oh, perfect. We'll have, good. I'm glad that you're at least creating and having some fun. We all deserve that, especially sometimes with our busy Saturdays. They can get so busy doing other things. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to quickly ink that, of course, out of habit. Now on this one, I'm going to trace this out of the top. Now these are 6 inches just to give you the flexibility to adjust for a card size, which I really love that. So I'm only going to, of course, just line it up on the edge and trace out the portion of the traditional card size, which is 5.5 on these ones. And then I'm going to cut that straight out of the card base, right? So instead of, normally you see a lot of the times we'll layer patterns and colors on the top. This one's going to be right out of the card base itself, like so. Okay, so now, then I'm going to ink those edges. I have a lot of pencil lines right there, so inking those edges will hide those pencil marks. And for me personally, it's always simpler and easier to ink them than to take the time to erase them. And let me just go a nice clean edge across the top. Okay. And then that will go in the inside, and it will just lay like that. Now, of course, the next one that was used is Blossom number 3, which is this adorable butterfly. And we are just going to place that right on the top, like so. Pretty simple, right? And that's fun. I'm so excited. I definitely would love to see maybe some card variations of doing this type of card where you cut the design or shape out of the card itself instead of layering it. So whoever's up for a new challenge, that would be a fun way to kind of change a card up, especially if you're looking to make a couple more cards and so forward to celebrating World Card Making Day. This is the pattern that was used, so I'm going to go ahead and just trace that out. Again, absolutely you can kind of adjust, you know, if you want to maybe try cutting it out of the flower instead or whatever you want to do. Lots of card paper pattern options in the mix there, so that's a lot of fun. I love this butterfly. It's so fun and it has almost a classy feel to it, but also a very playful feel. So for me, whenever I see things like that, it always just depends on the paper that you're cutting it out will set the tone. So in this case, you know, this is to the happy couple. So you might want more of that classy feel, and I feel like that's really nice that you can get that. But I also can see this butterfly being used on maybe a more infant or toddler page, you know, more of a pastel colors, but it also could be really cute, you know, in some more vintage colors if you want that, or brighter colors for a more, you know, I don't know, pictures of your teenager or something like that, you know, or just pure outdoors nature pictures with some classic greens and blues and just whatever paper. And I think that's so beautiful about our paper stash is that the designer templates really are there to make the paper shine at the same time, and I love that. All right. Isn't that cute? I love that butterfly. Love it. Yes, Shannon says love butterflies. Yeah, so super fun. Now, of course, sometimes when we're sitting here, we're like, well, it looks like it's plain or it's missing something. The first thing I would definitely challenge you is always to think of layers or to think of elements. So in this case, we could definitely put some texture here if we wanted to, but really the simple way to do that is to just add a little bit more, one more layer. And I often find that that's true for a lot of times. A lot of times we step back and we look at our designs and we think something's missing. And sometimes just a quick little extra layer or some type of texture usually does the trick. So in this case, I'm going to add a little bit more color by a layer to this butterfly. I think it's really cute. You don't have to do this with every time that you use the Blossom butterfly, but you just kind of want to eye that. So it takes a little, you know, detail there. There we go. And of course, ink those edges. And we're going to add that all onto this card, and we're done. So that is card number 1, using the blossom and the frolic. I put a little bit too much there. And there we go. Then I'll just add a couple more adhesive to nicely secure this down. And I think it's kind of fun that it follows that wave of the border a little, so I'm just kind of matching that up on that. So, and then it just kind of layers there, and then you open up, and you can still place your message from the heart inside of the card as well. Heck, sometimes when I see things like this, where it's a little bit wider, I'll just quickly give it a nice ink around those edges too. It just makes it feel kind of complete in my mind. So, okay, that is the number 1 card, and moving on. I'm excited. I hope you do give it a try, Suzanne. I think you'll have a lot of fun with that technique. And again, you could just do other designs or whatever on it. Okay, so the second card, very simple as well, actually. So we're going to take that secondary base that came in the Kwik card bag, the one that we were just using, and we're going to, let's see, we're going to use Frolic 1B. So I'm going to grab that really quickly, right? And then we're going to also use the number 3. So there's 2 sizes of scallops in here. You get like a medium and a small, and we're going to go with the smaller one, but you can choose, of course. And then we have basically a 2-inch strip. So if you are going off of this as your, reference, the title card, then that. Typically we work in 2s, but here's a nice little visual, so I just wanted to throw the tiny strips in. I know we don't currently have them in the shop. They were discontinued, but we do have tiny strips in the samplers card pack, so that's actually where it still exists. But I love the strips. Who knows, we might bring them back, but at the time they weren't the bestseller, but we were kind of sad because we were like, oh my gosh, we love them so much for visuals. That they're so basic, and so I get why that maybe somebody's perception of it's like, wait, do I really need strips? But I found them so helpful because they really expanded my playing. Really is what it did. It really expanded it. So, all right. So then I'm going to go ahead and clip this off of here. And let me get the paper trimmer on this. So I just noticed that I should have cut my butterfly from the top. I have more space here at the top. So if you are making these cards, I would recommend to do that out of the gold on the other side. I probably made this card first and then this one second, but that's okay. That's creative problem solving. Lucky I didn't cut into my words. Usually I'm a lot better about noticing that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that down, and I'm going to go to about 2 inches there. Okay. I always keep my piles of papers kind of sitting over here in a pile, just because as I'm working my way through like a Kwik card paper kit, I like to, see at the end where I maybe can pick up some of the scraps from a previous card bag or what. So let me kind of get there. All right. So that's pretty simple down there. Mine's a little bit lower, but that kind of works in some ways, of course, still, because I can put my flower there on that. And I do love that these card sheets, these pattern card sheets, are already at your traditional 5.5 inches. That way you don't have to trim it down with your paper trimmer. So you can kind of do something like that. And then I just need to cut through. typically when I'm using 2 borders, I'll do a straight cut. Like I'll just do a straight cut and take that off. And I might even put one on the inside of my card here. Yes, you could use it on a new card. Maybe I'll wait to the end to make sure I don't need it anywhere else with all the other cards that we're making. Okay, I probably will, so I don't get ahead of myself here, but anyways, hold on, let me show you guys here. So you could, right, take the one, because I'm only using one border on the outside, but if you wanted to, this is what I was trying to express, is you could put a border on the inside of your card. It's a good place to use those if you're not using both A and B, unless you're like, we could see, that's what I'm saying, I'm going to keep all the scraps, because we could completely probably make another card just with those 2 pieces that we ended up not using in general with these 2 cards. But let's wait till the end, and then I'll go back and assess my scraps that we end up with at the end of this package of cards. Yeah, the template does hang off the Shannon. This is a traditional 5.5. This border right here, Frolic, is designed for 6 inches to give you the variation option between whether that's a 4-inch card, 3, 6, 5.5, 5, because you know cards can be all sizes, of course, but so you just use the portion. In this case, I'm using only the 5.5 because that's the card base I'm working with. But they're also really great for pocket scrapbooking because pocket sizes, like the pockets themselves in the page protectors, come in different sizes. So I think the measurements on there are really great for that as well. So yeah, just flexibility for you to kind of align and adjust based on the project that you're working on. Also, of course, we added that same new feature to the 12-inch borders. So whether that's you go down to 8.5 on using the 12-inch borders or other various sizes. But it's not too far different so that, you know, it's not hard for you to still design like I was doing on this size as well. Like, in other words, it's not so big that you're like, well, how do I use this on a smaller size? That's why we have the 2 sizes. We have tiny and then the 12 inches. But inside of that, you can adjust and align according to your sizes on those 2. Okay, easy peasy. Now I'm going to cut it out of the blue. And I'm going to keep all my designer templates over here on the left that I'm using on this as well. Now, as far as the little flowers itself that you see here, or the leaves, right, on that flower, I just hand cut those initially, so I'll kind of show you guys here in a moment what I just took this green that's on the back of this cute flower pattern, and I just kind of quickly cut some because I just wanted that, like a little touch of green popping behind this flower. And it's a pretty simple flower to cut. There's actually a really cute, you could do, you know how with the flower from nature, okay, I might adjust this one just a little bit just for the sake of showing you guys this, but you could do the swirling here 3D effects. So first I ink the edges. So with round flowers, often like this, like so nature has a round flower, if you're familiar with the nature or tiny nature accessory set. And a lot of the time you'll see us do this tip where we cut the inside, right? And you just kind of do like a swirl. I think this works really great for even this little round blossom flower that comes in the blossom. And then it gives it like, and then we can roll it up, but let me do just a quick covering of ink. Usually when I'm inking the swirl part, I don't get too like crazy specific. as far as the inking. I just like a little ink to kind of come through to help with the distinction of the layers there. Hey Dawn, it's okay. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for saying hi. I'm glad you're here. So then usually what I'll do is I'll just take like a pencil or something like that, and then it helps me kind of roll it up. Now this one is smaller and more delicate, so you want to kind of maybe watch, you know, the tearing on that. Yeah, see, I kind of cut that too close to that edge. So it just kind of helps me, hold on, there we go, twist that up inside of there. So you're going to want to kind of move that around and then twist that around like so. You kind of get like a little 3D kind of flower, and it could be really cute to even do another one down here at the bottom. So on this sample, I cut the, you know, oh, here they are. There's these cute like middle pieces that you can just cut out, and then I put it as the center of the circle, but we might change this up just a tad from the sample, even though I said, okay, I'm not going to, but you know, I can't help myself. So, I'm trying to think, I think I don't know, maybe like a cute little green base could be cute. Let's do that. Since that's the piece that I have the biggest piece left of. I have this, but I don't think it will pop as much. So let's try green. So it's kind of like a 2-layer flower there. It'll be fun. Hi Sherry, how are you? Thanks for joining me, you guys. So again, we're just kind of walking through this fun class concept using the heart from the Heart Quick Card Paper Kit, and Frolic and Blossom. But I think what's fun about this is even if you don't have, you know, per se the Heart to Heart or from the Heart Paper Kit, these cards are so much fun using the Frolic and Blossom. So these fun designs that I'm going to be creating. Pull out the scraps of paper and have a lot of fun creating these card options, but only sticking with the two sets, which is Frolic and Blossom, and kind of playing around with those two. Okay, let's go ahead and adhere that down. So I usually always start with bottom layers, and I'll kind of tell you because I know I get a lot of questions about like how to adhere it down once you have it all laid out. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just eye it. Like I'll take a quick assessment from here to here from my end of my card base. And this is true for like my scrapbooking layouts too. I'll just say, oh, it's about 1.5 inches. And then I'll just take it off and then I'll come and put it for like 1.5 inches. The other way that I could definitely give you a tip, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just mark here like where that first layer starts, because when I adhere down, I do take my card or my thing sometimes apart, and it can be hard to remember it, so you can take a picture if you're not going to remember your design, but luckily I have this and I can just see that. And then I just start with that bottom layer and go from there. So I can go to that line, quickly make that judgment call, move on to the next one. And I know that this one's layering pretty with this one, so I'm going to go with that. And then same thing with my strip that has my sentiment on it. So this, of course, can be a strip that maybe you stamp a sentiment on if you're not using this specific card paper kit. I'm assuming maybe you have some stamps, so you can still do the same design, but maybe put your stamp sentiment on a strip like that. In this case, mine was already printed and made it really easy. And then usually when I do this, I do add a little adhesive to the end. I will tell you, I did cut a little close. You see that right there? So I'm trying to be really careful. I cut a little close to that edge, but it works. And I'm just going to place that down like so. And our next card is done. So, all right. 1 and 2 down. So again, I'm going to keep these all to the side. I know some people often keep those recipe cards and they'll put them in a little, I don't know, like a recipe book, like an actual true recipe book for more just like samples that you can use as ideas in the future, like your own little idea book. So that's an option. I often just toss them because I'm done with the idea, but it's always good as a reference too. That's what they're there for. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next bag here inside of the heart from the heart. And these cards are pretty basic as well. We have an adorable design where the strip goes in the front, which typically the accessories are typically a lot of the designs I see where it's in the front. So that's kind of different there. And then we have a back-to-back border, which makes that really easy. So it's just the couple cuts there and a couple ones over on the other one. So let's start with that. So you'll see here on this card, this is for all like 2A, 2B. Okay, so I'm going to take the 2A and the 2Bs. So just like our borders, they, you know, match up. So we're going to then line it up so that our border is going to be included in the sentiment, right? And then this other piece is going to be over here. And you see this strip, and that's where the double-sided comes in, because on the back of this pattern is the strip. So to start off with, I'm going to first just trace this out, making it part of my border, and then take this other one. That way I cut them out together and only have to cut it out once. Then at that point, I'll flip it, and then I'll get the two different patterns that layer really good together on that. So of course, one simple cut up the middle, but then of course that one cut will give us those two pieces we need for our card, right? So that's it. And let me grab the card base first really quickly. So we have green and we have blue, and I loved how Tammy was sharing with us, like if you want to stretch these paper kits out a little bit more, you could trim down the front facings and put them on white card bases. But for the most part, I don't mind using the card, and I like a little bit of pattern designs in my cards, but I do love the tip if that's something that you want to kind of take advantage of and stretch it. I think it's a really awesome thing to keep in mind, because it will give you more card backgrounds to play with, which I think will have some scraps left off over. So we might have to either do our card base white or something like that. Did you guys see that video that Tammy shared that idea? If not, you could definitely catch the replay. She shared a lot of ideas on how to take a typical Kwik card paper kit and extend it past the 10 cards that it was designed to create. So no, these card kits are just the paper kits, Shannon. Designer templates are sold separately. This just happens to be that I'm using two separate, the same ones as far as the templates, but no, you'll need to buy the paper kit separate than the designer templates. In this case, this is not a variety pack. Sometimes our variety packs will come with templates included, and also designer, or the paper and the designer templates. So like our Mary card pack, right? The brand new. But this one is just a paper kit in this case. But I really do love how these, because you guys probably noticed that, like a lot of times we'll just kind of mix and match, which is kind of the beauty of the Play to Create system. But it's also fun to kind of utilize just a few same sets to make something. All right, so this also has a strip. You'll see here, right here. Now that is here on the back, but this is where you want to make sure you're paying attention or you're going to end up with the butterfly where I cut it off a little bit, right? So I'm going to need this sentiment, this really simple, basic strip sentiment for my next card. So I want to safeguard this. So I'm going to put this over here for a moment. Then of course now I can just go ahead and cut off a little, pretty much a 1/2 inch strip from that blue. And so often when we do back-to-back designs like you see here where the 2 templates go back to back, I like to stick a little strip down the middle. Not all the time, you don't have to, but I do think, again, those little breaking up the patterns a little bit is fun in that. Okay, so then as far as the pink goes, we actually have that right here on the back. So you're going to want to make sure, because we put more patterns here on the back of the insert, just so that the insert is also very usable. So you'll just want to make sure that you have an idea of those before you cut into it. So just something else to kind of be aware of and pay attention. But for the most part, I'll just keep it to the edge here and cut out my butterfly. All right. Okay, so like I said, I think as we're closing out the World of Card Making Day, I think we need to throw a little Saturday giveaway in here. We did a couple giveaways yesterday for Friday, but I think it's time we do a couple little giveaways in the mix of our lovely, beautiful Saturday as well. Linda, I love, these are looking nice. I have a lot of your card sets. I love them. Yes, they're a lot of fun. I know I shared that with you guys previous where they really helped me become more identified as a card maker. So I'm really grateful for them because they helped me to discover that and simplify the process, which for me, I always needed that a lot more, I think, with, well, I guess I couldn't say that, but yes, I wasn't into the necessarily card making, and then of course I loved how the templates, even for myself, really made that possible. So I kind of grew into that love, I would say, but I absolutely appreciate this art and what it does, again, not only for the designer, but for the people that you give these creations to. And I love that it's an art that is meant to be kind of given in that way, you know? But of course, even in your scrapbooks, they're made for you. I hope you make them for you. I really believe that they should be done that way. But of course, we make them also in mind with our children and our, you know, our loved ones and our future generations. And so they're also done in such a special giving way as well. So I love it. Okay, and then this next card. I need to change out my ink pad. Do you guys, or my Dobby. That's what we decided to name my dauber. I need to change out Dobby, apparently. He needs to be retired and moved on to another one. When I start getting these little speckles, I'm like, okay, you've had it's time for you to retire, unfortunately. And I'll probably cut out this side butterfly or middle butterfly as well on that. I don't know, maybe I'll add some gems on this one just to kind of change it up. But let me go ahead and adhere it down, and then we'll move to the next card. And think of a giveaway. Let's think of a giveaway. All right, here's a question. Pretty easy peasy. I'm going to pay attention to the comments. I know everybody's internet, it seems like, is different these days. But here is the question. The first person that I see, type in the comments. Okay. We all ready? We all ready for this? Da 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 da. No, just kidding. What two designer templates am I using? the names of the 2 designer template sets that I am using. So the name of the sets. Sorry, this was a little off. There we go. Shannon, will you have a Christmas card kit? We actually just released the Merry one. Shannon, did you see that one? It just literally, it's a limited release that just got released. All right. Gal, you were the quick one. I'm going to give it to someone else, Gal, because you won last time. Is that fair? Let's see. Shelly Ryan. Yes. Oh, no. It's Blossom, Shelly, not Spring. So Betsy Robles. Frolic and Blossom. This is correct. Gal. She's like quick. She's got quick internet or something, or she just knows. I just smile because she won the last one. Yep, you're amazing, Gal. Thank you. Okay, Betsy, you are the lucky winner, Betsy. Congrats. Please email support@kiwilane.com and you're winning a $5 store credit. Okay? Okay, so yes, I'll put some gems there. Congrats, Betsy. You have the slowest internet ever? I don't know. It just depends on bandwidth, or I don't even know. We'll think of some other fun giveaways that maybe we can shift up the way that the internet works here. Alrighty, so this next card, we're going to pull out Blossom 5, right? Blossom 1 and Blossom 5. That's all that was used with the strip down the middle. If I can get this strip of paper up with my nails, there we go. Now it does have some breaking up of, again, typically we work in 2 inches, often, not all the time, but often. So it has breaking up that color just a little, just to throw in more patterns for layers, because again, sometimes those just added extra layers make a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out first. So again, these paper patterns, the pattern sheets that come in the Kwik card kits are already 2 5.5 inches, so that makes it really easy. So all I have to do is cut a 2-inch width. The length is already good. And trying to see if I had another dot where I keep getting all these little runaways here, and I don't need to ink the bottom, so because that's going to be covered anyhow. So I'm not going to ink the bottom, just the edges that will show, and then this one, of course, it's going to all show. A lot of times too, I'll point this out, with these lighter colors like white, I'm not inking from the top down. I actually am going from the side and doing like a rub, because I don't like where it gives it, the white shows a little bit more. So just depending on what I'm working with, I don't want it to look, you know, covered in ink. So I do a slight rub instead of a brush stroke feel on those. And then we have this bigger pattern option here. You could do the pink, you could do the yellow if you want to change it up. I'm going to stick with the pink. And I love the little hearts in this, so cute. So these sentiments, of course, my heart is with you today. I think that's just so cute. Again, I think, you know, there's oftentimes where we just don't know what to say to someone. Somebody's going through a hard time, or you've been thinking about them or whatever, and I just think that's so, it's, you know, sometimes a simple card with a simple message, not really any words of wisdom, or, you know, just my heart is with you, you know, I'm thinking of you, and I love that. And this one says, hoping your day is as special as you are. So again, I love that sentiment because it could be for any reason, right? You don't have to have a reason to send this card. It could literally just be, you're amazing and I hope you have a wonderful day, right? So that's really fun. Okay, so a lot of times with these more circle flowers, right? I naturally, well, now because I've been doing it for a while, I just go one way and I kind of move it through, thread it through the scissors, shifting it with my left hand. I kind of just rotate it with my fingers as I kind of do one direction of this cut design. And I do this a lot with all of the flowers, the round flowers. Then I go back and I do the other direction. So often that's what I'll do. I don't, you know, I was just thinking, is it really a time saver, or could you just follow the cut and keep going? I don't know. I just have always done it this way. I must find it efficient. I don't know. My mind tries to think of efficient ways. It's naturally how it operates, is how can I do this more efficiently? But it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean that I'm right in my logically trying to figure out that. But I don't know. I've just been conditioned to do it that way. So I thought I would point it out. But now, like right when I was saying it, I was like, huh, maybe I should cut the flower out just in rotation and see if it's actually easier. I don't know. I'll give it some thought, guys, and let you guys know what the end result there is. But that's what I do. I find it actually very nostalgic and I just kind of, I don't know, cut those little things out. And that's what we end up with. I think this is a really cute flower. It's got spunk, and I think it's just really cute. I think it could be really fun, like a couple layers, like you see that? Like if you had like a different color in the background kind of shadowing through, could be really, really cute as well. And then also too, I'll just do the same thing with my inking. It really depends on the mood, but if I kind of get in the rhythm, then I go one way and then I'll go back the other way, right? And then I'll start going this way. So I just kind of, oh sorry, I have a little bit more ink here, so I need to do my inking, or pencil. I needed to do a little darker ink because the pencil's showing there a little bit more. So then I'll just kind of follow that rhythm. And I think that's where I just kind of get lost in the rhythm. And so maybe if you find a rhythm, it actually does help, because the fact that your mind just focuses on the rhythm. So maybe that's why it feels efficient to me. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. It's good to talk out those things, though. I know a lot of people ask me sometimes, and I'm like, well, I'll try to point out processes as I see them happening. Sometimes we just do things that I don't even notice I was doing it. Okay, and then this flower in the middle here looks like it was used with the dark pink as well, which again is on the back of here. So that little pink there. Why not? Super fun. So what are these sentiments so far? Like, which ones do you just think, oh wow, I really feel like that would inspire me to send those cards? Of course, there's, which one of these do you guys like the most so far? Thank you so much, which I'm sure if we could all think of reasons and why we should say thank you more often to somebody, right? So that's super handy. To the happy couple, I think that's a little bit more direct, you know. But it is really nice to have wedding cards on hand as well. Could be an anniversary. It doesn't say wedding. It doesn't have to be a wedding. It could be an anniversary. My heart is with you, or hope your day is as special as you are. So special, heart, thank you, happy couple. Just curious where the the verdict is at on these, you guys. So where are we at? All right. Here we go. Let's put our bottom layer down. And really, you just stick that, pretty easy to adhere that one just because we're gonna, whoops. Stick that 2-inch all the way at the top of our card base. Stick that one down in the middle of our card base. Stick this one down in the middle of our flower, and then come back and add the strip down the middle. Actually, this would have been cute with some pop-up. That would have been really cute. I think I'll still do it. Add a little pop-up down the middle of that card. I'll just add it on top of my other adhesive. It'll work out. Kel says I'm at the age where I need lots of wedding cards and sympathy cards. Not correlating to each other, right, Kel? Wedding and sympathy. Completely different occasions, I'm assuming. Or maybe they're the same kid. I don't know. Yeah, not related. It's too funny. Too funny. All right. Okay, so I think I need to quickly give this a little bit of a gem touch, and then I can know that I have these gem strips, which probably would work actually. Just a general strip here. Down the body of the, I have a piece of hair, I do. Body of the butterfly. I'm like, what is this? It's a butterfly. That's right. So some basic gem like that. And maybe one in the middle of my little rose petal thing there. So that's it. All right. Moving on. You guys up for a couple more? Okay, let's do this. Why not? We actually have a 2-hour space. Last time I just did an hour, but we'll see. I don't know. Okay, moving on to bag number 3. So there's only 5 bags in here. We are halfway through making these packs up from them. And, oh, we got sun glare going on. The thank you card, the congrats, the thank you. Oh, I think the thank you one is kind of taking the lead here. Well, let's see if any of these other ones catch your attention as much. Okay, so this one is a lot of fun. I'm going to show you kind of this, really just a tip on how to maybe pull back and make this tent effect here, which does take a little bit of noticing on these kits. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but we are going to point it out. It was this has been released a while ago. So we definitely want to show you guys how to make those. You guys might smile if you have this kit. You probably didn't even notice it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to cut this strip. We're going to use this whole strip. Actually, so I'm going to start with my bark card bases. This has the blue on the outside for this one, and this other one looks like the cream is on the outside. And this one's horizontal, and this one is vertical. Okay. Sorry, I know that's kind of squeaky sometimes. All right. And then we have this and these. Okay, so usually, so this is how our process works. We get the samples, we make a sample, we take the pictures, then we go back to the manufacturing. We make any adjustments that we notice during the sample making. A lot of people don't do that, by the way. Like, they just go straight to manufacturing and then print run. We go to manufacturing, we accommodate for a sample run, the sample run that gets tested by not just the print, but by the ability to design with it. And then we go to mass production. The reason why I share that with you is because when we made these samples, I actually, right here, there's a little dot, okay? It's just a little dot there that was put there to kind of help create that window effect. So, which basically just shows that you need to cut it upwards on that. So we're going to do that and cut it to that dot on that. It's actually quite there. Yeah. Super fun. Okay. So there is the dot. So we're going to go all the way. You guys can't see that dot, can you? It's like right. It's really small to use. And we weren't even sure, and we should probably have put it bigger, but I didn't want to. It was on the stripe. We might do that technique again later. I don't know. So, okay. So all I'm going to do is follow that slit upwards. But so you probably just, the simpler way to do it. Here, the simpler way to do this concept is go to, oh god, I would say about 2 1/4. So we're just going to kind of go up through, right? So from the right inwards, we're going to go to about 2 inches. Let's just say, just make it simple. I think 2 inches will work. And you're going to go up to about only 1 inch to the top of your strip there. And I used the whole strip pattern, right? So, okay, so I went over just a little bit. So 2 inches there, and we're going to go that direction. Okay, so then once you have that, then we're just going to fold those over like so. And this can just go all the way to the point or to the edge of the pattern. Might actually have to cut some of that down. I think we will have to on the inside. Sorry guys, it's been a while since we released these, but it's super fun to go back through and say, oh yeah, that was really fun. All right. And then I'm gonna pull this one up more. Okay, so this one you'll see here in this sample, the Love and Hugs. You'll see how close that the hugs is. So we need to cut this down just a little bit more. So I wanted to throw that out there. There we go. Now, of course, these are just suggestions. So that's why these cards are made the way they are, so that you can still have the space in the designs to create others. You don't have to create just what you see on this. It's just, they are great if you're looking for ideas and suggestions. Okay, so now this one, I'm going to have that sentiment. I want that sentiment to peek through. So I'm going to fold this back, line it up, and fold it back until I can see how much I need to fold it back to have it peek through on that design. Like so. It's like a little tint with your sentiment there coming through. What? Keep it coming, Betsy. Oh, good. I'm glad. Gail, you're making cards as fast as I do with the kids. I'm impressed. You upped your card skill over the years. Yes, Gail is a master card maker. I would say she is, for sure. I'm glad that you enjoy the kids, Gail. Gal, it's been a while. You've been posting some layouts. You need to post some cards. You need to give some cards some loving these days. It's been a while since I've seen a card of yours. When's a better time? National Card or World Card Making Day? God, I keep calling it national. All right. I'm thinking we could even stick little, I didn't do that on these ones, but I'm thinking we could definitely stick, you know, like a Brad. A Brad. I can never say Brad anymore without laughing a little in my head because of my girls. But let me grab some of my pink Brads here and see what I got. You could just adhere those down. You don't have to do a Brad. But boy, do I have a collection of Brads for years. That I could definitely use in here. Cool. I'll just go with those little tiny ones. And then I'm going to take my dangerous poker here and I'm just going to hold this up and let's poke a hole in these edges, corners, and put this down. Did we lose video? I'm going to close my blinds really fast. There, hopefully that helps. Okay, can you not see the video? Somebody said that earlier and I'm hoping the internet, I don't know. I feel like weekends lately with streaming are getting harder because everyone's, you know, not working and probably streaming, or I don't know, and more on internet than normal. And well, we're definitely all on the internet more these days. I guess we're also on the internet right now. So I guess I can't be like, how dare my neighbors be on the internet? But still. Okay, I'm going to move this all the way up, and then we're going to use Frolic 4 down here. Right? So I'm kind of just showing you guys the option here. And then I think it is really cute to have a little twine around that. Okay, they say they can see the video. Okay, I'm not sure. It could be your internet on your side if that's the case. Gail, I'm in the middle of finishing layouts that are half finished, but don't worry, I'll get some cards done this weekend. Oh, perfect. I can't wait to see it. That will be awesome. Okay, so then as far as the scallop, this is the pink here. So on this specific Kwik card paper kit, where I'm going to trace it at the top, not here at the bottom, because I definitely, again, keep in mind the placement of things that you have. And this is the bigger scallop, and we already used the smaller scallop, so now we're using the bigger one here. And the scallops, of course, are not like the traditional borders. They're more considered a fun border, so you cut them out separately. Basically, you don't get two out of one cut. So anytime you cut any scallops, you just kind of want to rotate that paper right through your scissors. And then, yeah, you might need to slow down your cuts a little. I know that I typically cut a little faster on those just because I'm a little more comfortable with them. And I don't mind them being a little imperfect. It's the honest truth. Some people are like, oh, you know, and I'm like, it's just because I don't stress about it being a little imperfect. I'm okay with it being a little imperfect, one, because I've learned that inking will pretty much fix everything. And two, I personally think that handmade aspect of it is very personal. So I like that little touch of handmade concept in it. So a little imperfection doesn't bother me there. And I'm not just saying that because the process itself is geared and focused around a simple hand cutting process. I generally do think that. All right. That's it. We're done. Okay. Let's tear that down. So here's another fun tent challenge, card challenge, whatever. I think it would be really fun to try this one and to try like seeing what you guys can come up with, and hopefully you're encouraged to give it a try yourself with those variations. There's so much more you can do with that. So I'm gonna line this tent layer, the top tent, with the bottom one first, and then flip these and then adhere them down together. After, I'm not going to push that down yet. I'm not going to push it down yet because I'm going to slide my bottom layer in there and line it up on the edge of the card, and then now I can push it all down. Okay, and then as far as twine goes, I'm sure I have some pink twine. Of course I have some pink twine, I'm sure. I have lots of gray twine. Oh, I have lots of pink twine. I think this pink twine is still left over from, oh, do you guys remember that Kiwi Club where April we put twine in it? It was a long time ago. I don't even remember. Maybe it was April 2018, I don't know. Anyways, we were like, yeah, let's put some twine in it. And there was a miscommunication with the manufacturer, and it ended up being like, all this twine. But you know what the funny thing is, it made us get really creative. We're like, how can we like inspire people to use this with their Kiwi clip? So we made different kind of banners. I actually had a lot of fun making that banner. Anyways, any of that ringing a bell, I kind of laugh at it because it made us laugh. We're like, oh, that's a lot of twine. A lot of twine in that kit. And so I'm just going to wrap this around here. I like the darker pink. So I'm going to go with the darker pink on this one. It pops a little bit better. It really was funny. We were like, when we saw the kits, we're like, where did that all come from? That is a lot of twine. All right. And tighten. And cut off the strands. And usually what I'll do is I'll crisscross these. If they don't happen to do it naturally, I'll crisscross it and then stretch the edges just a little, and it tightens it around the card if it's not already tight. So, okay. And there we go. Super fun. So yes, just a little sentiment. And again, you can do a little tent. And when you're adding those layers, you know, again, you can stamp something inside with the pattern coming through. You can stamp a little sentiment or, oh my gosh, guys, I just had this idea. Legit, I just had this idea. I was like, you could have like a little bird from like Tiny Springtime coming out, peeking its head through. Or like, what about like the little woodland creatures? You know how we just made those woodland creature cards? Part of me is like, huh, I wonder what that would look like with a little... Maybe if you created it this way with a woodland creature with a tent cut up like that, and your woodland creature was like poking through it. I don't know. I just pictured this little animal poking its head through a tent for some reason, and so it made me think of those, either the bird from Tiny Springtime. Anyways, it could be really cute. Don't. Distractions. Yes, but I'm excited. Anyone that wants to do the tent look, I'm excited to see what you do. Yeah, we wanted a few, I think we said like 3 feet, and they gave us 3 yards of each one. So there was 2 colors, and it was like 3 yards, or wait, no, maybe that's not correct. I can't remember, Gail, I'll tell you the truth, how much yards and feet and different things, but it was just amusing. But yes, there was so much. Yeah. Well, Gail, stop your scrapbooking layout and go make a card so we can all see how cute the tent with a creature coming out of it would be. Go create it. It'll be so cute. All right, next card. So this is with the tulips. Okay, guys. I was a little obsessed when we first released the blossom. I will be honest. I wanted to use that tulip all the time. I had to like control myself because I just thought it was so cute. So, yeah, so I'm excited to use it here. So this one, I wanted to do like a pocket tuck, right? So, oh, hold on. Is the internet causing me issues? No, internet, stay with me. Hopefully it's still going for you guys. So for this one, we're going to cut all the way up to the words itself, right? So I'm going to cut it right to the edging of the wording, and I'm going to take off this excess part that I don't believe we need. All right. Am I back? The internet looks like it's gogging all up. I don't know. So what I mean by a pocket is kind of creating this design down at the bottom. Again, usually what I'll do is you can either take your pencil and mark it like so, or you could just adhere it down and trim off the edges. Is another simple way of trimming down things if you're doing it vertical instead of horizontal, right? So that's really cute. Can you guys see me? Am I still live? I feel like my internet, but then and it's fine. let me know, comment and let me know if it's wigging out. Sorry, it was holding up, but I know the kids are downstairs still watching the conference that we were watching for this weekend, but I might need to tell them to get off the internet. I don't know. Okay, so then that works. It's probably over now. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, I think I'm back up. Hopefully it stays this way. I'm sorry, guys. If I know last time I was live, people were saying it's coming in and out, and I'm like, dang it. So anyways, so you could create like more of a pocket design. I put the tulips, a couple tulips in there, but it could be really cute to even do like legit make this like a pocket, and you have a little tag or something that comes out. So some kind of pocket design is really cute, I think. So the concept of a pocket would be a lot of fun on that, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and trace out. I'm going to start with our tulips here because I want to show you guys how fun these are. They're so cute. So cute. So we're going to take, so we're going to use this green and also that flower on there is what we have left here. Hold on. And then we also have that, oh, it's probably on the back of here. I'm like, where is it? Yeah. So we have the pinks that are on the back of this one. So I need to first cut out those pieces. Sorry, I'm trying to see how we got all that out of that. So I just cut that one, bottom, and then the top is separate. So I might actually cut this out first. So this is going to be 4 1/4 if you're doing it the vertical way. So, which there is no measurement for that. So I'm just going to, again, kind of come over to here. Actually, I think I have mine marked at a 4th. I do. I think I just keep it marked at that 4th mark. So I'm going to line that up on the edge and then trace it out so that I make sure I get my pattern there. And then I'll be able to take the excess and cut 2 of those bottoms out of that. So again, really making sure to utilize your paper to its full advantage in different ways. So it takes a little bit of assessment if you are trying to make something specific instead of playing your way. But it's definitely a very reasonable use of your paper. I guess the biggest thing I want to encourage is to not just like, you know, just carelessly kind of cutting things out in the middle of your papers or anything, like making sure that you're paying attention to what's on the front and the back of your pattern papers and just acknowledging it, and then also making sure you acknowledge where your sentiments are in the kit as well, so that you don't like cut into the sentiment and be like, dang it, I didn't need to do that. So, okay, so I'm gonna take this green and we'll cut that out as well. So I'm just cutting, I'm gonna piece the tulip together in this case. Usually what I'll do is I'll, man, I can't see your guys' comments anymore. Can you guys comment? I don't know what's going on. Maybe it is my internet. Looks, okay, you guys are seeing me. Okay, well then I won't stress too much why I can't see. It's kind of going in and out. All right. So then I'm just gonna, right, kind of cut that or trace that bottom part. And I need 2 of these, so then I'm gonna flip it over here and do the same thing. If anything, the Play to Create really does not only allow you to use your paper scratch or paper stash, but it also allows you to really use it to its full potential, you know, as far as efficiency, as far as really making it very usable. I don't waste a lot of my paper. I mean, really, by the time I'm done doing some kind of project, I have these little, when I throwing scraps away, I mean, that's what I end up with, like little pieces, like true scraps, you know what I mean? So it's a very efficient use as far as the ability to functionally use your paper fully to its full potential. All right. Sorry, I just get so focused in on this. I'm like, oh, look at. So we're gonna kind of piece this together to give it that layer look. So now that I have those two cut out on that, right? Now I'm gonna take the top piece and we're going to trace it out of here. And if you, again, you have lots of pink to choose from, it looks like on both sides of that. So just kind of pick which one you want. I like the crisscross on this. I also really love those heart pattern, but we'll do the crisscross. So this sentiment is, of course, about love, because love comes from the heart, right? There's so much to love about you. And I think that's something very sweet to tell someone. And it's true, for whatever it's worth. I really do think that's true for all of us. Sometimes it's hard to see, even in ourselves. We're too hard on ourselves, but don't be. Love yourself. Give yourself love as well. I think it's important for whatever it's worth, especially if you're a mother or a grandmother or whatever. I think by showing love to yourself, you give those around you the same permission to also love themselves as well. I know with me, with 4 girls, anyways, this got kind of deep, but I really do, genuinely, it's something I've been processing. It's just this mentality of really making sure that you show yourself respect and you show yourself love. And I want my kids to know that they also have permission to do that with themselves, to treat themselves with respect and be nice to themselves as well as others, of course, but also to themselves. Be nice to yourself. Don't be mean. Okay. And this is just says love and hugs. Can't go wrong with that. Love and hugs. So sister, maybe. I have 5 sisters, I guess. Well, including me, we have 6 sisters, daughters, girls in my whole house, you know, my sister in my family. And then of course I have 4 girls with my kids. So I don't know, I guess naturally I just think about sending those little love cards to one of them as well. So really fun sentiments in this card pack. I think it's really cute. Okay, so inking all these, lovely inking, right? And again, I'm gonna ink this top. Okay, so I really do think it would be fun for whoever's up for another challenge to make this into like a true pocket. Like, you know, you could staple those sides, right? And then have, like I said, a card or a tag or some kind of cute little design coming out of it. In this case, we're doing some tulips, but a true pocket would be really, really cute. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to go ahead and adhere this down, and whenever I have excess like this one, I just adhere some adhesive to the edge of my card so that it goes straight to the edge, and then I place my card back down. So instead of putting the adhesive on the card, the paper itself, I put it down on that. Now I didn't add it into the top because we're gonna tuck these back in. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little adhesive to those and tuck that in. And we'll do the same thing here. Why are the lines printed on the tulip tops of the template? Let me see. Oh, I'll tell you that. So when you see lines on those are guidelines. So in other words, like a reference for drawing. And you could take your like a pencil or a pen and kind of use that as a guideline. So like a reference. If you wanted to draw a couple lines on your tulip. So yeah, anytime you see any kind of printing, we do that just so that it helps as a reference if you wanted to do some actual doodling on your design. Hopefully that helps. And then when, of course, you ever see any cutouts of design, I'm trying to think of a set, like oh, I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head, but I'm going to trace this or cut this off. Like the jar from the country accessory set, you know how the design is actually, and that one it's actually cut out of the designer template. We treat those as stencils in that case. So you have guidelines and you have stencils features along with the designer templates, the designing tool itself. Okay, there goes some of those, my daubers. And then I'm going to place that down. Perfect. All right. What we got going on? Low battery? Oh. There we go. Hold on. Let me take you guys down really fast. Okay. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Yes, and of course, yes, you can cut multiple out. And then if you wanted to, we could layer that up and cut them out and layer them on top of each other, which is really, really cute too. Here, I'll go ahead and show us for the sake of showing us. So let me erase these ones really quickly. So if I wanted to layer one, what I would recommend is actually tracing another one. And in this case, you could do, well, maybe I'll pull this darker pink in. Then it will be dark pink. So, no, I just think the contrast between the two of them will be cute. So never mind. I'll just do this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and just trace a whole full one out again. Kind of like what Cynthia was saying there, right? And then we can layer them up. They're really cute, simple. You can do a lot of different techniques with this. Again, this is the Blossom accessory set. So of course, I think the tulip just as is really cute. You could do the trace lines where you just add a little trace line doodling basically, or you can add some layers, and the way you would do that, well, the way I recommend that you do that is you're going to trace it out. Another one. Again, we're going to use this as our guiding reference. Right? And, oh, sorry, Shannon said it. I think I said Cynthia, but yes, like Shannon said, you can cut them out and layer them. And then you're going to, so what I would do is I would start by kind of drawing those trace lines on again, right, as like a reference. And then this one goes up like that. And then what we can do is cut them out. Ink those edges. And then I would do the opposite side and then trace that piece out. Ink the edges. You guys get the steps, right? Same steps, same tips, different ways of using it. And then what we could do is add a little bit of, like, see how those flowers, they can layer really cute. And then the back layer comes through. So that's really fun. Here, let me bring this up a little so you can see that. Right? So that's kind of cute. And then, yeah, you can add some, you know, if I want that those top layers to pop maybe a little bit more, I could add some pop-up on that. And then throw those back on that. It's kind of fun. So you can pop those right up. Okay. On that too. Let's Super cute. Super, super cute. I told you guys. I had to I'm like, okay, everything I do can't have a tulip on it, but I felt like when we first released these, I feel like I wanted to use the tulip all the time. A little yellow tulip, a red tulip, you know, like when you see fields, like gardens of tulips. Have you guys ever seen tulips, like just gardens of them, where it's just galore of just beautiful different color gardens or tulips all kind of in the same pot? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So, so pretty. I love them. So, and then we'll just adhere that. Now, of course, I could layer both of them up. Or you can keep one. It's hard for me not to layer them both up. So, yeah. But I'm just going to adhere it down for now. I'm going to have to come back later. We'll move on to the next card so you guys can kind of see it. But, yeah, that's cute. Okay. All right. So those two are done now as well. We're still up for it? Let's see. I got a little bit longer, and then I'm going to have to sign off. But we'll see. I got to pick up the speed, I guess. Maybe chatting. So again, keeping all our scraps. So see all these scraps still? So when we say that this card, it can make at least 10 cards. That's really what we're saying. Our double quick card packets can make at least 10 cards. So you could definitely make more with them. And that's why I think, you know, again, if you want to stretch them, you could definitely pull in the white card base, which is just using basic white cardstock. And kind of like what Tammy was saying in her video yesterday. So that was really great how she shared that tip. All right. So starting again with our card bases, we're going to do another vertical and horizontal card on this. This one has the sentiment printed right on the card base. So in this case, I would recommend to keep the blue on the outside. Unless you want that to be on the inside, it would be cute too, on the inside of your card as well. And then we're going to use, let me throw all my scraps on my floor, because that's what I do. I throw them on the floor. Sometimes I think, Susan, I've tried to retrain myself to throw them in the trash can, and it never works. I just throw them on the floor. Okay, so we're going to, on this one, again, pretty typical, using a 2-inch strip. And yes, we're going to only use this flower as a half flower. I think that's really fun. When you see full flowers, just keep in mind that you can also tuck the flowers and use them as half flowers. So in this case, we are going to be only using half, and then we'll put this one at the top like so. So that will be a lot of fun. Oh, Sharon says that Michigan has a tulip festival every year. I know, Carmen, you think I would do that, but then my trash can gets moved and then I just throw it on the floor. I kid you not. This is a talk I have with myself every time. Susan, why don't you just throw the trash can there and then do it, and somehow I just still find myself getting on the floor and cleaning up the trash. I don't know, Carmen. It doesn't make sense. Habits are hard to break, for sure. All right, so let's see what pieces of paper we have in here. And I love this like yellow gold speckle. It's got like this design on it. So again, making sure you pay attention to where the sentiments are. So I don't want to use or cut into that. Actually, I'm probably gonna just, again, safeguard it right off the bat so that I don't accidentally mindlessly cut into it. So I'm just gonna safeguard that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut my 2-inch strip on that, which will become here as that base. And the blue. So when we use half flowers, you're only gonna wanna cut out half. So you're gonna put it on the edge of your paper and just cut out the piece that you're gonna be using. In this case is about half of the flower. So I'm only going to cut out that half, like so. Right? Okay. Alrighty, y'all. You guys ready for another giveaway as we wind up this end of the World Card Making Party? Would love to see what? I'm sorry. Oh, the tulip. Are you talking about the Shannon? Are you talking about the festival? Yeah. Hi, Kay. How are you? How's the weather in Florida? I'm sure it's beautiful right now. All right, y'all. You ready for another giveaway? Okay. So this card, this paper quick card kit, what is the full name of the paper itself, like the collection name? Something, something, something. First person I see, $5 store credit. We'll definitely throw another one out there. So something, something, something. What is the name of the collection for the paper? From the Heart. That is correct. Sharon McDonald. From the Heart. Sending a little sentiment or a note or something from the heart. Sharon, email support@kiwilane.com and we'll make sure that you get that prize. Congrats. It's beautiful. It's in the 70s, Kay said. Oh, that sounds wonderful. I actually don't know how hot it is today or cool. It was hot. It was cool this morning here in Carolina, but then it got hot in the sun. Only if you were in the sun. If you were in the shade, it was beautiful. But 70 sounds wonderful. So, all right. Then we're going to, let's see, cut that one out of this other piece. So this is the back of the yellow. This is where our border is going to come out of. So we're going to go ahead and cut that out of there. It's kind of cute. It's like a little arrow pattern on it. Yeah, that's really cute. On that. So again, we're only going to be using the one side on this design. So you can put the other half of your border on the inside of your card, or you could simply save it for with the rest of your scraps, right? And create even more cards. So that's really great on that. Ink those edges. And in this case, I will ink the top because I know how I mentioned often when we do back-to-backs, I'll do a strip, but it doesn't mean all the time. Not all the time. Which on this one, I'm going to be doing the border and the scallop, and they're going to be back-to-back. But in this case, I'm not going to add a strip in the middle of them. So I want to just ink that top layer with it. So I'm going to put all my pieces down there and quickly, like so. Okay, and then on this pattern here, that's going to be cut out of the pink, which is again at the top of this. So I'm just going to stick it right here on the edge. And then we'll trace that piece out, like so. All right. Well, good. I'm glad you found us again, Kay. How are you, Kay? How are you? How many of you guys gotten your Kiwi Club kit? I guess if you're a Kiwi Club member. If you're not, that's okay. I'm just curious, like, I saw someone say on the Play to Create with Kiwi Lane group that their tracking said that they were going to get it on Monday, and they actually got it today, and I was like, man, that was fast. That's awesome. That's awesome. I know the team was working hard to get those out before the weekend, but then the post office, man, they delivered that fast. I guess it just depends. It just depends on the week and the month and the time frame, I guess. So, Sharon, you got yours an hour ago? That's awesome. Mine is in the mailbox. I just haven't gone out to get it, Gil? Come on. Kid, I'm glad that you're learning a lot, okay? Hey, Ethel, how are you? All right, so let me go ahead and lay down again. I'm going to start with the bottom layer here, and I'm going to kind of assess again. When I'm looking towards placement, I see kind of an idea of spacing there from edges is how I get my kind of balance as far as things go like that. And then I am cutting into this piece, so again, if that's something you need to take a picture of, then you might want to. But I say use the paper app, personally, more than the idea. And then this one, so we're gonna layer the next layer, which is this flower. And I'm gonna tuck that in. That's kind of poking in around that love here. So I probably cut more than I had to on that flower, but like I said, it's a big flower, but I love the full flowers because you can do them as full, or you can use them as half flowers, but they're really fun. So now I'm gonna go ahead and stick this one. Again, kind of keeping in mind my spacing to the edge of the card, like so. And then the next one, like that. So these quick card paper kits really do simplify, because you know the papers will work together, and they're already, if you're doing traditional cards, that is, they're already 5.5 inches in width, which really do add to the ability to be quicker. So even if you're using your scrap, sometimes cutting it down to the width of your card actually does help in some cases. And then on this one, we just used the little blossom here in the middle again. You could do the 3D if you really loved that. You could definitely throw in that Scribbles 3D that we did on this one, right? But I think for this one, I'll just do it as it is. And this one's done out of this polka dot, which is so cute. It's so, so cute. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so fun. So this kit, you mean the paper itself? So on the samples, like I was showing here, Shannon, it does say on these samples in the recipe cards which ones we used. And on that front card, it did say you might be interested also in Frolic and Blossom. I don't know if we still have that sheet because we've cut into it. So, yes, it does list them here. So as long as you know that you have, well, you could get the Heart from the Heart card pack and then Frolic and Blossom. Or like I mentioned earlier, if you want to get the Frolic and Blossom, you will be able to create all of these cards that I'm showing you with any scraps of paper, any paper that you have. Personally, I love the From the Heart, and I love the sentiments, you know, that this kit provides. It really is one of my favorite ones. That's why I was like, I'll do that one because it's so cute. But yeah, so that's what I would recommend. You can create any of the cards if you're like, oh, I love these cards, and you want to create them. Either go see if you have Frolic and Blossom. But yes, that's mostly what you're going to need. And then this paper kit will give you the formula specifically for these cards, just because they're in the sample themselves. So they're what was on them. So kind of not really, we're just kind of scrap lifting those, but they're really fun cards, and they have, sometimes it's hard to pay attention to those details in the sample pictures. I know sometimes we get lost in just the pretty colors and the patterns and the overall card, but you know, if you can really look at a card and dissect it, I think it's a lot of fun to kind of see those little details that sometimes we overlook. Because that's part of the creative process, you know, is to kind of do that. But so far I've given 3 challenges to you guys. I've challenged you to create some kind of pocket card, different than mine, a little tent card, and also a card that has the edging popped out of the bottom, or traced out of the bottom would be really cute. So yeah, and or make any cards that you want. But I think that would be fun to see what you guys come. Various options and designs that we can do similar to these ones that we're creating. Okay, so that is the other one for this one, and then we need to take our next card base, and we will quickly make the second card that comes in this pack, and it looks like it's right there. We're going to be using this one, again vertical, so we're going to have a little design that's a little different, and then we're going to be using Frolic 1A on that. Okay, and then we're going to use this adorable leaf from Blossom. It's so cute. It's a little bigger, so having this space up here at the top to tuck that in is going to be really cute. All right. So I always tend to, I don't think it's when you write, but I do, like I said, naturally, when I see patterns like these, main patterns is what I'm referencing here. Yeah, I usually do those with some borders, and if you go back and look at all the other cards we made, a lot of those patterns are being represented in the border, not necessarily in the embellishments, because I feel like sometimes with the embellishments, that's when more of the blenders really help, because you have more layering happening there. And I feel like the borders actually they set the framework for your design. So I feel like that's also kind of a safe place to put busier patterns in. But there are no rules ever to creativity, because just me saying that, I'm like, well, I have used them in my accessories. Like I'll use some more main patterns in flowers and accessories, but for the most part, I tend to stick those in any of the designs of borders, kind of framing that artwork a little bit. And then I'll use these other two tones and blenders and just more of those solid patterns to do any embellishing or accessorizing in that case. So like I'll cut my flower out of this, and then it really just kind of pops. And you don't have this competing feel going on. I'm also going to cut my leaves out while I'm down here. So I'm going to be tucking these leaves, so I don't want to cut out the whole thing. So I'm just going to cut out a very portion of it, because it will be tucking in. Then I'll do the same thing over here on this one. Actually, where's my center? So my center pieces are on this side, so I don't want to do that. I want to trace it over on this side. So again, just paying attention what's on your opposite side of your paper as well. Okay? All right. And then I always detach, especially when I have tight tracings like that, I like to detach them so that I can kind of create a pile of cutouts, right? So I can say, okay, now I traced them all, now I cut them all. And again, sometimes finding those rhythms do help. It just depends on the day and the time, but sometimes when you find those rhythms, it can speed up the process a little bit more too. Then you can trace in case the other one out. Gail, your mailbox is 2 miles away, and I won't want to leave my craft table. Okay, well, I understand that. That's definitely a process. I can get that, especially if you're not going to design with it right away. Finish your projects that you have on hand. That's too funny. Okay. And then we'll cut our next leaf out. I also love this leaf because it is more of a wild leaf too, kind of like the wildflower in Blossom. It is a little bit, has that more wild feel to it as well. And so I really feel like that's a lot of fun. It's kind of got this slight trendy feel to it. Actually, I remember when we were designing this one, I was just playing around hand drawing them until I came up with a design that we liked. So I just was like, well, let's keep playing them, just trying to adjust it as we go. But, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, man, you could layer a couple of these leaves. Look how cute that would be. You could layer them all together and almost make a little flower effect by layering most of those together, almost like little individual petals. That could be really cute too. Never done that before. So, all right. And so, oops, see the white. I don't like when it gets so dark, but it's not end of the world. It's just a little darker on that than I like. All right. So I'm going to, again, on these verticals, because I want to make sure that adhesive goes straight to the edge. You can cut it down before you put it on, but I typically tend to do this. I just tend to take it and then I'll trim off the excess once I get done. I'm gonna tuck this one behind actually to cover that messier ink that I'm not a big fan of. But I do want my sentiment to be off to the, normally you would think to center it, but this case I want it to be off to the left because my flower is going to be placed right here, right? So I'm going to tuck that down a little into that, on that. And I probably need to tuck it down just a little bit more, to tell you the truth, because I don't want my flower to, oh, ripped my paper. Add more adhesive. Okay, you know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to trim this piece down. That's probably the easier way. Okay. I just want that words. I want it to go to the left and I want it to come down. Like so. Then I can trim off any of the excess. Like that. Both sides. Perfect. Okay, and I do need to ink this other flower. So if you have like a button and you prefer to add a little bit more texture instead of maybe using the patterns or the paper, you could add a button to the middle of this flower. You don't have to use the paper provided necessarily as the center of it. I think it's kind of cute, but again, I always like to point that out, though. Just keep in mind if you are doing cards and you use kind of buttons or things like that, then you might have to pay extra postage if you ship it. Not that we ship all of our cards. I'm probably half and half, to tell you the truth. I do tend to mail a lot of cards, but I also have a lot of need to send just cards to neighbors and friends, local as well. So it just depends what your needs are there, but I am going to be using these little design elements since they do come in this paper kit. Sometimes those circles are really annoying to cut, I'll be honest. So you might have to slow down, but again, that's the beauty of ink, right? That's the beauty of ink. And I will add a little pop-up. As long as your pop-up is not too thick, then it's actually really, I've never had to pay extra postage on that. So, and then I like to, again, ink my edges of my whole card base. All right. Where are we at on time? 6:51? Okay, I gotta hurry up. I'm not sure who's after me. Somebody is after me. Let's see. Oh, Mindy. So Mindy's coming up next. Hopefully you guys join her. So let me see what other two cards. These cards are pretty simple. Maybe I'll just sign off so everyone can go to the restroom and then come back on and join Mindy. I think I'll actually create along with Mindy as I watch her as well in the comments, because I'm having fun too, Gail. I don't want to go out of my room. It's not 2 miles to the mailbox, but you know, I don't want to leave my craft table. I get it. I'm getting some stuff done. actually want to finish my Mary cards from the other day. I haven't finished those yet. I want to finish those, and I want to post a picture. I need to post a picture. So far, I got done, well, I got everything done. So I got done all 8 cards. If I did these other 2, I would finish the 10 cards that come in this kit. And these are really cute. I think it's fun to do these little mats on cards so you can see this matting happening on top of the card. That's really fun. I love that. And then again, so you would stick some twine around the mat itself, not around the whole vertical card, but if you put some twine before you adhered your mat down, that would be really cute. And then this is just a simple back-to-back with a strip. So that would have made 10 cards, and then as you can see, I would have had scraps to continue to make more. I think personally I would go back and, you know, like I was mentioning earlier, like adding these inside of your card. Here, let me show you guys really quickly. I'll have to make those cards in a minute. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we made 8 of those cards on that. And I think that's really, really pretty good. But yeah, like you remember how we had this one? So if I wanted to, yes, I could use this on a separate card, but in this case, I think I'm just going to go quickly ink those edges. And I'm going to add this to the inside of the card. So whenever you don't use the side B and A together, consider throwing it on the inside of your card. That way when they open it up, they have another little thing to smile and be like, oh, how cute. So that's really fun. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys continue to find time to create a little bit yourself, and like always, keep playing, creating, and connecting. Okay, I'm going to sign off so that Mindy can sign on here in a minute. I'm going to go get a drink of water, and I'll probably be back in the comments and be hanging out with Mindy and the rest of you guys. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.